Is that similar for you, Omer? I think you've said you're an AI lawyer now, but you're still a privacy lawyer as well. So where do you start with them? Similar place?
I actually have like three sort of threads that I'd like to pick up on, if briefly. So first of all, on the AI lawyer, I just want to clarify that in my view, all lawyers are now AI lawyers, because Shannon and I, Gabriela, you Andy, we come kind of at it from privacy. But I work in a law firm that has, specialists, and Shannon, of course, too, across the board, and all of them are now AI lawyers. Certainly the IP lawyers are AI lawyers, and labor and employment, if it kind of touches on labor and employment and consumer protection and just general sort of safety, liability, corporate, right? A lot of the transactions now are in AI. So I don't want to narrowcast this in any way as, us being the AI lawyers. This is a technology that's very fundamental kind of to the fabric of all technologies now. And I think it means that all lawyers are AI lawyers, partially because, putting aside the EU AI Act, there isn't really an AI law. All laws apply to AI, like tort law applies to AI, and certainly, anti-discrimination laws and product liability laws and IP and privacy. So just, maybe put a pin in that. We can discuss later. To Gabriela's point about the kind of uncertainty, I just want to say that I think the uncertainty is much broader than just with respect to the specter of regulation and what exactly it captures and how exactly it's going to apply if, European Commission is kind of entertaining the idea maybe to pull some of it back. The uncertainty is very fundamental still to the technology itself. And I think a lot of the questions, even, post, as Shannon said, chat adversary, a lot of the questions are still very much open. Like, does this thing even work? We've seen a lot of reports about agentic AI, specifically in organizations, not really being successfully integrated in. I think MIT or IBM had a report where like it's only 15% of deployments even work. Certainly accuracy, it's not a privacy issue, it's not a data issue, but it's a fundamental and potentially earth-shattering issue for this technology, because if it keeps up, making up bullshit, excuse the term, constantly and very eloquently, I think at some point people will say, wait a minute, can we trust this to do like really sophisticated things? So kind of the gap between, the prospect of this sort of destroying civilization and this being as harmless as kind of just writing a limerick about sort of the latest thought you have, is still very broad. With respect to kind of advising clients, look, as lawyers, you asked specifically about the EU AI Act. I'll say how we sort of think about that. The first big question is, does it apply, right? Because if you're stateside, you're kind of an AI startup. Hopefully for you, it doesn't apply yet, because it is a pretty heavy bureaucratic law. So does it apply geographically? Are you even developing or deploying an AI system? And I think part of this goes to show that when they drafted this law, they didn't even seem to have the right sort of technological mindset because ChatGPT, came in very late in the process and it was almost tacked on to the EU AI Act as an afterthought, like the whole idea of kind of a general purpose AI and the concept of a model, because the EU AI Act is focused on AI systems, not even on the model, but we know that really everyone is kind of consuming the same models from the big LLM providers. First question is, does it even apply to you? If it applies to you, what risk category are you in? Hopefully it's not a prohibited AI, and hopefully it's not even high risk, because if it's high risk, it's like a world of pain in terms of legal obligations, especially for providers. And that, I think, is the next question. So if, unfortunately for you, it's yes, 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 then are you a provider or a deployer of AI? As we all know now, it's not really a dichotomy, it's not bipolar. There are a lot of kind of stops along that spectrum, and most companies are both providers or developers and deployers to some extent. Yeah, so these are kind of some of the initial questions. And I think if the answer is yes to all, you're a developer of or provider of high risk AI, and it is, sort of deployed in the EU, well, prepare for a lot of work.